Welcome, everyone. Let's dive into this explosive legal battle where deportation flights are at the heart of a clash between Trump and an activist judge. Let's get
Yeah,
rolling.
such a wild mix of law and politics. So we're looking at a situation where the President Trump asserts he has all the authority to deport alleged gang members who he claims are terrorists and thugs, even going so far as to say he won the 2024 election partly on that promise.
Yeah, exactly. And the rhetoric is over the top, linking these individuals not just to criminality, but equating them with, well, Tesla vandals and actual terrorists. It
That's a heavy
really
comparison.
underlines how contentious this narrative is.
And then we have Judge James Boseberg stepping in with some serious scrutiny. He's challenging the whole timing, like orders given at 6:45, then the written order 45 minutes later, and flights leaving almost immediately.
Right, it's almost like a well-oiled machine. If that machine were
Yeah,
built
exactly.
in haste, the judge is clearly disturbed by how quickly these actions unfolded, almost as if any delay might have invited legal intervention.
Absolutely. And Trump dismisses the judge's authority, saying, in effect, that letting a judge interfere is just dangerous for the country.
Correct. And he even goes so far as to say judges, especially so-called activist ones, shouldn't be dictating terms, arguing that the executive branch holds
That's a bold
exclusive
take.
power here. Though, I have to respectfully challenge that notion. Isn't it the job of the courts to check any excess?
Right. I mean, that's the classic separation of powers debate. The courts exist to rein in the executive when things go awry.
Exactly. And then there's the whole state secrets angle. The administration hints at top secret negotiations with governments like El Salvador and Venezuela, discussions so sensitive that if revealed, they could jeopardize
Nice
national
twist.
security. Yet critics say it's just a pretext to withhold details and dodge legal responsibility.
And speaking of twists, there's even a cameo from Elon Musk in this drama. His involvement, coming in with claims about prosecuting Pentagon officials over alleged leaks, just adds another layer to this already tangled tapestry.
Totally. It's like a political drama unfolding on multiple fronts. Musk's comments about prosecuting leaks, and his visit to the Pentagon serve to muddy the waters further.
Absolutely, it's all interconnected. Then there's the legal talk about using the Alien Enemies Act from 1798 to justify these deportations. Imagine that. A law centuries old being applied to today's immigration and national security issues.
Yeah, it's like history rearing its head in the most unexpected way. He argues these alleged gang members are fronts for or even controlled by regimes like Maduro's, making them a
Very
national
dramatic.
threat. Yet this narrative is, well, highly debatable in legal circles.
And what's interesting is that while Trump insists on his absolute authority, the judge reminds everyone that these arguments often get labeled as non-justiciable, meaning the courts are not or shouldn't be wading into these executive decisions.
Right, he's emphasizing that the judiciary shouldn't be interfering with executive responsibilities, even if the actions themselves are controversial. It's a precarious balance indeed.
And then there's the matter of those secretive deportation flights, the strict timeline, the split-second decisions. It almost seems too orchestrated to be accidental.
Yep, it's like a sprint. Orders at 6:45, then a quick turnaround with flights, all under a
Very
veil of
tight
secrecy. It raises serious questions about whether due process was even a consideration.
Exactly. And while the administration claims these moves are fully within its executive authority, there's an undeniable tension about judicial oversight and the potential overreach of executive power.
And here's where historical parallels come into play, reminding us of times when previous administrations, like during the George W. Bush era with Bill Barr, faced off against judicial interventions over similar issues, such as handling Haitian boat people.
Right, history does have a way of repeating itself. It really does. And in those cases, as well as now, the key debate isn't just about legal authority, but about how these actions shape public trust and our democratic checks and balances.
Exactly. While the Trump administration might win on the deportation front, based on their interpretation of Article 2 authority, the broader consequences on the balance between branches of government are a cause for concern.
Yeah, that's a real slippery slope. And another layer is how the state secrets doctrine might get invoked to withhold information from the courts. if they go that route to defend these rapid decisions.
That's a critical twist. On one hand, the state secrets privilege is meant to protect national security, but if
Absolutely.
used too liberally, it could shield actions that ought to be scrutinized.
Exactly. It's like putting up a cloak of invisibility over certain decisions to avoid accountability.
Right? And that's where the tension lies. Preserving national security while ensuring that executive power remains in check.
That's the million-dollar debate. And even within the administration, there are hints of internal conflict. Top officials discussing whether to invoke state secrets, carefully balancing the protection of sensitive negotiations with the need to comply with judicial orders.
Yes, and those internal debates are almost as dramatic as the public spectacle. Timing, secrecy, and rapid action all become part
Truly a
of
high
this
wire act.
larger narrative.
You know, the whole scenario really forces us to ask, when does the need for swift executive action cross the line into undermining legal democratic norms?
Indeed, it's a delicate balance. The president argues that any judicial interference could lead to chaos, but if we allow unchecked power, that too could lead to, real chaos.
Right, it's a tightrope walk for sure. And now, with the appeals court set to weigh in on these issues, especially regarding the state secrets exception, we might see precedent-setting outcomes.
Absolutely, these rulings could have a long-lasting impact on how far the executive branch can go and, on the very nature of judicial review.
It's critical for our democracy. Before we close today, any final thoughts on what this might mean for the public's trust in government institutions?
Well, the stakes are high. On one hand, there's an argument that decisive action is needed for national security, but on the other, bypassing proper legal scrutiny might erode trust in our checks and balances.
Yeah, that's the real risk.
Ultimately, time will tell which side wins out.
And that's the fascinating and troubling part of it all. This ongoing tug of war between executive power and judicial oversight.
Exactly. For now, we keep watching as these legal, political, and even international threads continue to weave together. A true modern-day saga of power, secrecy, and accountability.
Absolutely. It's something we'll all be following closely. Thanks for joining us in this deep dive. It's been a roiling conversation of legal intricacies and political theatrics.
Yep, and we'll be right here bringing you updates as this saga unfolds. Stay tuned and stay curious.
Right on. See you next time.